Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Baue, your funeral coach. I'm here today to talk a little bit about 2024 and setting up goals for the future. It's super important that we be realistic and very, very smart about what we're going to do. It's great to dream. We all have big dreams. And I know most of you out there listening today are thinking about, what do I want to accomplish? There's these New Year's resolutions. Do we always get to them? How do we accomplish them? And how do we make them real and come to life? Well, there's some work you have to do. Part of that is seeking some coaching so that you can actually get out there and make these things a reality. Well, that's what I do. As a funeral coach, I work with young people all over the country in the death care and funeral service profession. And by young, it's a relative term. I mean, let's not really talk about age here, but mostly millennials and Gen Zs who are trying to make themselves into leaders who want to become owners someday, want to become in growing themselves in a leadership role. It's extremely important that we find time to work on those goals and make those goals a reality. They can't just be big pie in the sky dreams. They have to be specific. You have to know where you're headed this next year, and you have to take it off in little small chunks. You can't make it just a great big hairy goal, kind of like Jim Collins talks about in his Good to Great. It really has to be smaller. And I suggest you start with just making some for this coming quarter. I think that's very, very wise. They also have to be attainable and achievable. That's the A in SMART goals. And it's extremely important that you work on being realistic about where you want to be someday. It takes work, it takes baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight. And it also takes good planning. And in my journaling, I have a great little journal book here for all of you because it talks about your dreams are only dreams until you write them down and then they become goals. And I can help you work through how to set up goals for the future. It also comes with some journaling tips to work on self care. Now, speaking of self care, one of my best friends in the funeral service profession is Dr. Alan Wolfelt. Love him to death. I don't know how many of you have listened or read his works, but if you haven't, please go to his centerforloss.com and go see some of the many writings he's done to help people who are grieving and mourning, as well as help us as death care professionals do a better job of taking care of us. Well, I actually read one of my favorite missives, which is One Mindful Day at a Time. 365 meditations for living in the now. And I say it's no time like the present to really start living today. He speaks a great deal about mindfulness in his book. And I'm going to read you just an excerpt out of this because I think it's extremely important we get very close and personal to this. So it's about meditation. And I don't know how many of you meditate, but in funeral service, if you don't take some private time to do some deep breathing, perhaps it's a yoga class, it's more about working out your brain in a calm and collective way, then we are doing ourselves a great disservice. You should sit and meditate for 20 minutes every day, unless you're too busy. Then you should sit for an hour. Well, this is an old Zen adage that he puts in his book, and he always has a quote from a writer or some parable. And he says, on the path to mindfulness, meditation is a powerful tool. It teaches you to empty your mind and of its incessant thoughts of worries instead of simply existing and breathing. If you're a beginner, he suggests you sit in a comfortable chair, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Counting sometimes can help. Count one, two, three, four, five on your in breath until you naturally are full of air. And then on your out breath, do the same thing. One, two, three, four, five. It's very important to go slow with this. How many times do you do it? Well, that's certainly a personal decision for you. I suggest no more. Well, how about at least 10? Let's put it that way. So it's important to count to five in and five out and do it for 10 times. It takes maybe 5 minutes of your day. Dr. Wolfeld also says counting can really, really help you till you're naturally depleted of air. So just don't pass out. I think that's a good thing not to do. Or you can breathe in short, silent phrase such as all is well, all is well, all is well. And breathe out in a different short phrase as everything belongs. Everything belongs. I admit, Dr. Wolfelt says, that I myself am guilty of thinking I'm way too busy to meditate, which probably means I really do need to meditate. And he is committing to 5 minutes a day, if you will as well. I commit to that. In the mornings, I work out of my journal. I also write down what I'm thankful for. I don't know how many of you are doing that, but I'm going to remind you. And you may have heard this from me before, and I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but I so believe in the benefits of this is to actually write down things that you are grateful for when you wake up in the morning. What kind of things do you believe are just so positive in your life? And if you can't think of anything, open your window. Is there a bird singing? Is there a beautiful snowfall? Is there a bright sun? Or maybe it's in the evening when you have time. Is there a beautiful moon in the sky? Are you grateful for your loved ones? Are you grateful for your job? Well, if that's a sore subject, then are you grateful for just being and being healthy? Or if you're not healthy, are you grateful for being on the path to becoming healthy? What about at the end of your night? What do you do? How about thinking more about what you've accomplished in your life today at work? What's something you really feel that you've done well today? I want you to all pat yourself on the back. I think that's so vitally important that every single day we show a little gratitude to ourselves. This is so difficult in funeral service because you know why? We're caregivers of everyone else. We take on everyone else's mourning and grief and sadness. And if we don't do something for ourselves, well, I will tell you, this profession may not be good for you over the long haul. So you must commit. You personally must commit to doing good things for you. And it gets hard because I know I've been a mom of raising children, run a business, and those times of day can be crazy when you first get home from work and you're having to get dinner ready and you're trying to keep everybody happy and get the kids to do their homework. Or you're just trying to chill out and relax and do nothing. And maybe you just want to watch something mindless on TV, or you want to listen to a mindless podcast like mine, which sometimes it's mindless and sometimes it's going to challenge you. And do listen to some of my guests that attend because my guests are amazing and they challenge me every day to be better. Think deeply. I believe it's so critically important to think deeply about you and what makes you you. Really, you did something good today. I'm sure of it. Did you make somebody's day by just cheerfully greeting a staff member? Did you just give a hug to a family that's just really struggling with their grief and mourning? I want you to write down every day in your journal. And if you'd like one of our journals, please email us. If you would, please go on our website and inquire and ask for one of our journals, and we'll send them out to you with journaling tips. And ask yourself, what did I do good today? How did I make others feel? How did I make myself feel? It's okay to say, hey, I made myself feel pretty great. I walked around the funeral home 5 times and got outside with my tennis shoes on, and I just got some exercise, and I feel really good about that. People think you're crazy? Nah. Well, maybe they will, but that's okay. Being a little crazy in this business is okay too. I believe it's important to get outside, even if it's freezing cold, even if you're stomping around in the snow. Do y'all have snowshoes? Well, in Missouri, we don't have a lot of snow. We have lots of ice, so sometimes walking outside isn't possible, but mall walking's a good idea. Going to the gym, taking a quick break, or just sitting quietly, meditating, reading something of value. Take some break time and listen to some great music. I know you can find different ways to show gratitude to yourself. And I think that's so extremely important as you focus on you in 2024. That is my wish for you. That is my goal for you to focus on yourself. I also want to talk a little bit about self-confidence. And if you have an opportunity to really take a look at your future self-confidence, we're finding that in the workplace, over 80% of people working today do not feel confident about themselves. I work through with a lot of my clients this self confidence workbook. It's extremely valuable. It's written by two PhDs, Barbara Markway and Celia Ample. And I so believe in some of their teachings. And inside, they have you start with your own personal values. Have you ever done that? Have you ever actually worked on your personal top 3 or 4 values? I think it's so very important to do that. And this could be a good way to start your new year off with writing down your personal values and sticking to them. And then you start banging up anything you want to do and accomplish up against those values if they meet your values. And this book helps guide you through that. So give me a call if we can just chat for a little bit. You get 1 free hour with me anytime you want, just once a year. But we will talk a little bit about your goals, how to set SMART goals, and I'm going to have some great programs in the future in 2024 for you to work through getting your SMART goals to where they actually become action-based, which is the A as well in SMART, and time-based, so you know when you're going to accomplish them. So if you need an accountability partner, I'm here for you. I'm your Lisa Baue, your funeral coach. I've been an owner for well over 32 years. I've been licensed for 45 years this year. I know I look like I've only been licensed for 12, but if you're not watching the YouTube video and you're just listening to the podcast, makeup does wonders. Everyone's like, all right, how come you always look so great and have lipstick on and eyebrows? And well, it's the great makeup learning that I had at Baue's. I have to say that just because, fix yourself up in the morning. Girls, put a little makeup on. Guys, well, probably don't need it. Guys are easy. Make sure you're clean shaven. Make sure your hair looks great. Make sure you're dressed well. Feel good about yourself going into 2024. Well, I miss talking to all of you, and I hope to talk to all of you in the future, but I really wish all of you a blessed 2024. And if I can be of any help and any service to you in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm Lisa Baue, yourfuneralcoach.com.
Your Funeral Coach Talks is a Crabshell Media podcast.